ここならよしだ。見晴らしもいい。屋敷の作りも把握できる。
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Fate's Day Night. And Kirei is about to give us some information about Gilgamesh. I hope it's helpful. I move about 2 meters away. It's hard to hear when he speaks softly, but I can react to anything this way no matter what he does.
ね、分かったことって何なんだ、琴峰。
ああ、その前に一つ確認したいことがあるのだが。
A big smile full of compassion. The priest takes one slow step towards me.
朝は留守にしてすまなかった。そら、これはお前の忘れ物だ。
So he knows that Shiro was at the church. A thump. He throws something onto the grass.
結界の音。
The alarm goes off. The boundary-feared father put up the alarm that reacts to intruders with malicious intent is going off.
騒ぎの元はランサーだ。目的があって屋敷に押し入ったのだろう。
I can't hear the priest's words too well. The thing he threw at my feet. I can't take my mind off of it since it looks like it can only be the corpse of a small child. Say what?
セイバーが迎え撃ったか。室内ではあれの本領は発揮できん。イリアス・ピールをさらうにはもう一手必要だろうに。
The thing that looked like a child's corpse isn't a corpse. It's alive. Its limbs are cut off. There's only the head and the body. The skin is peeled off. The meat is rotting, but the child is alive. The skin is peeled off and the face just looks like a specimen. So why... A sharp, heavy object pierces my heart from behind.
人の身でサーバントを出し抜くことはできない。当然だな。サーバントを出し抜くのはやはりサーバントのみだろうよ。
I don't care about the priest's scornful laughter. I don't mind that my heart is being pierced and I'm spewing out blood from my mouth like a hose. What fills my body is wonder. Why do I recognize a corpse that isn't even human anymore? Okay. I guess we should have investigated the church more after all. Well, let's go to the Tiger Dojo, why not?
Hi! みんな元気かな?
Sounds like someone is fighting in the background.
人間誰しも怖いことは嫌だよね。だからちょっとひよっただけなのに何の因果か地獄の虜。気がつけば騙し討ちされているあなたを慰める Q&A コーナー、タイガー道場の時間です。ただいま屋敷ではセイバーちゃんとランサーが戦っております。弟子1号はとっ捕まったみたいだし、シローは庭で死んでるし、もうこの屋敷の風紀はどうなっているのか。昨今の若者はルールがなっていなくてお姉ちゃん悲しいな。さてクライマックスを直前にしてデッドしちゃった君。
Right before the climax.
君子危うきに近寄らずはいい言葉だけど、世の中避けてばかりじゃゴールにはたどり着けないのだ。選択肢に戻って自爆覚悟で教会の闇に挑むべし。物語は本当にクライマックス直前。
But didn't you already tell me that last time?
長かった夜ももうじき明けようとしています。セイバーちゃんの願いは果たされるのか。シローが隠し持つ心の歪みとは何なのか。そして立ちはだかる英雄王を倒す手段は。次回最終話ユートピア。ここまで来たらノンブレーキでエンディングまで駆け抜けちゃってほしいな。
Well, thanks. Okay, then see you at the last choice. Okay, we are back here, so let's go down the stairs. I enter the darkness. It's a room made of stone. The lights aren't on, but the room itself is glowing blue as if it's a living thing. It might be used quite often as the temple isn't dirty with dust or mold. How deep is this? I look up the stairs I've descended. The staircase is built along the wall in an arc. It must trace out the perfect half moon, as I can see the start of the stairs about 10 meters directly above me. Is it because there's no light? The arcing staircase that connects this underground and the outside world reminds me of a centipede crawling through this temple. And I notice the door, under the stairs. The symbol in front of me, beyond it, an entrance to darkness is open. I approach the darkness as if drawn to it. I go through what appears to be an entrance into the place. Is it damp? The floor feels slimy and it's hard to walk on. It's like the time I cleaned the swimming pool at school. The feeling that bog moss covers the floor and the feeling that my leg would rot every time I step in it. I stop. It's because I'm scared by the nasty feeling of the floor, but more than that, because I smell an awful stench. I plug my nose and reflex. The smell isn't momentary, but ongoing. It's not the smell of meat, but it's not gunpowder either. Is this formalin? The smell of medicine fills this room. My senses were numbed as soon as I came underground. I don't feel any chills or pressure anymore. But still, my heart beats like it's expanding to twice its size. My hands are vermiculating like they're going to crumble into pieces. And the worst thing is, my eyes have gotten used to the darkness. The darkness fades. A drop falls somewhere. Was that a signal? The things I couldn't see before are engraved into my eyes instantly. It is a living hell that's somehow familiar. There are corpses. There are corpses. There are corpses. There are corpses. There are corpses all around me. The smell of medicine covers the smell of death. That's the cause of the dripping sound. The water's dripping into the corpses' mouths. The slightly open mouths take in the water, and it must have been like that for many years, as the lips are swollen and rotten, and the jaws are decomposing on some. What's going on here? I tell myself that this isn't happening. I don't want to think that such a thing can happen, but I can't deceive myself. I can tell in a second. Even though there are this many corpses, no one is dead in here. They're alive. These things that can only be perceived as corpses, these things that used to have human shape, are still quite alive. Are they zombies? I remember a news story I heard somewhere. It was a story about a whale. About a guy who survived for a month after being swallowed by a whale. That huge creature has a huge digestive system to maintain its huge body. The great thing is, the creature has two of them. The first stomach is where it keeps all the fish it swallows. The next one is the one that digests all the creatures it stores. So the man who was swallowed lived for a month being slowly melted in the lightless, warm, stinking meat lacking in oxygen. In the stomach full of dead fish, he lived for a month as his clothes and hair melted. A month not knowing when he would be sent to the stomach. And then some fishermen killed the whale, and when they were cutting it apart, a smooth and slimy human came out of the stomach like an alien. Yeah, it's a tragic story, but this is just as bad. Why are they alive? Every corpse is deformed and they lack too many of the human characteristics. No limbs. Those that have had them cut off. Those that have had the ends decomposed, leaving only the bone. Those who are ground down in the cracks in the floor. Those who have become homes to bugs splattered on the walls. No matter how they came to be that way, they have no limbs remaining, and all of them are worn out like rotten trees. I don't even need to know why. Corpses are being eaten by the coffin. What? I don't know how it works. It's just that the corpses are stuck to the coffin, and the coffin is sucking nutrition out of the corpses. The flow of life. The coffin is sucking up magical energy. No, something close to the soul. slowly, so not to kill the ones it leeches off and so as not to allow them to live. The sound of the wind, that sounds like sobbing. It seems like screams coming out of the corpses' mouths. Their throats have already decayed and they cannot let out voices. It has already become just an organ to keep them alive. But still, the corpses are crying out. In an almost inaudible voice, they scream with all their might. It must be the pain and the fear. They continue screaming, unable to stand losing their form and being eaten alive. I hear a sound. The coffin in front of me gasps, drooling. An eye drops off as it turns its neck towards me. But still, it stares directly at me. The swollen lips move a little. It speaks in a voice that's not even a voice. And asks me that question. I'm right on the verge of screaming. No, I can't even scream now. Where am I? It doesn't say it hurts, nor does it ask for help, but it just says it doesn't understand why it's here. Is that the reason? He was like that before he realized it? He lived normally, went to sleep naturally, and was gasping here when he woke up. His limbs are already gone, sucked by that coffin, rotting away from the ends, unable to move, and he can only believe this is just a bad dream. I might go insane. My heart might break from this scene and from this terrible spectacle. But why? Why do I recognize them? I have never seen them, but I recognize every one of the corpses. This is the first time I've seen them. There are people I should know. There are people unrelated to me, but why are they as if knowing me, staring at me? And I have another question. Is it some coincidence, or do the sacrifices have to meet this condition? Why are all the corpses here children of the same age? And then, how do you know that they're of the same age?
Yeah.
Oh shit! Suddenly, I'm tapped on the shoulder from behind as if being greeted by a friend. My body freezes at the sudden event and I can't even turn around. But I don't even need to turn around to tell who the person behind me is. Kotomine Kirei, the priest of this church, the man who made this hell. And a devil I must not meet more than anything else in this place.
全く間が悪い。そろそろお前が来る頃だと思ってな。食事の準備をしに行ったのがまずかった。そら、前回はろくなもてなしができなかっただろう。私なりに気を使ったのだが、入れ違いになってしまったか。
I can't talk. The priest's hands are heavy on my shoulders.
だが、不法侵入は感心しないな。そのようなことをすると、見なければいいものを見てしまう羽目になる。例えば、そう、お互いの関係を白紙に戻さざるを得ない真実を知ってしまうとか。
The priest's voice is more cheerful than I've ever heard it. Kotomine Kirei, standing behind me with his hands on my shoulders, is definitely smiling. That's why I'm frightened.
どうしたエミヤシロ。話をしに来たのだろう。黙っていては意味がないぞ。拍子抜けだな。それほどこの光景は機械かね。
The priest says inhuman things in a cheerful voice. Does this man not feel anything when faced with this? I don't even need to tell him this scene is outrageous.
なんだ、それは冷たいな。お前にとっては不快でも、そんなことはないと言ってやるのが情けだろう。そもそも、彼らとお前は兄弟のようなものだ。お前がそのような態度では、彼らも救われないと思うのだが。
Like brothers and sisters? What is he talking about? Just now. What did this man say?
お前、今、なんて。
この死体たちとお前は仲間だったと言ったのだ。
How?
形はどうあれ、お前たちはあの地獄から生還した者たちだ。 血肉のつながりはなくとも、その絆は兄弟のそれに近いと思うのだが、どう？
I see. That's why I thought I recognized them. This is the continuation of 10 years ago. And this place is the continuation of that hospital room. My head spins. Children who lost their homes and parents. They were supposed to be sent to an orphanage and stay there until they found someone who would adopt them. But I was adopted by Emiya Kiritsugu before that, and I did not know what happened to them afterward. I avoided thinking about it. The orphanage was the church on top of the hill, and I could have gone there anytime I wanted to. But still, I hesitated. I felt it wasn't fair for me to get adopted and then go see children who didn't get adopted. So if I was to meet them, it would be in town. We would meet accidentally, be able to talk normally, and we would be over the fire incident. I was looking forward to such a meeting, thinking that we surely would meet as it's such a small town, so why have I not met even one of them?
そうだ、エミヤシロ。エミヤキリツグに引き取られていなければ、お前も彼らの一員となっていた。わかるか？お前はまたも一人だけで助かったのだ。周りの誰もが平等に死んでいくというのに、お前だけが輪を乱して生き延びた。どうかね。自分自身大した不平等だとは思わないか？
My pulse returns. My frozen body defrosts in an instant.
いや、私は責めているわけではないぞ。むしろお前のそれは喜ばしい。エミやシローの生き延びる才能は大したものだ。実際、私もお前が最後まで残るとは思ってもいなかった。だからこそ、最後はこうして兄弟たちに再会させてやったのだ。
In his final moments,
お前は本当に運がいい。ここは今日限りで閉める予定だったのだが、ギリギリで間に合ったな。今まで10年間、サーバントの餌にするために彼らを生かし続けたが、それも終わりだ。やり始めた時ほどの濃い魂の摘出は望めぬし、もはや餌の必要もない。あとはお前とお前のサーバントを仕留めるだけになったのだからな。
he kept them alive to feed the servant. Well, I guess we all know already who he is talking about her.
てめえ!
With that word, I break all restraints. I move my body which had been bound. I fling the hands off my shoulders, throw myself forward, and turn to face the priest.
琴峰、お前が
I face him, placing enough distance between us. In that moment, I feel a powerful shock from behind me. That's weird. I can't breathe. A sharp horn is growing out of my chest. The horn looks like the head of a spear. Wait a minute. Spear? That's strange. How can a spear be growing out of my chest?
ああ、そういえば言っていなかったな。改めて紹介しよう。彼が私のサーバントだ。
What? Kirei is a master? I turn to look back. There, a blue spearman is standing, piercing my chest. And Lancer is Kirei's servant. The lance is pulled out of my chest. At the same time, a sharp pain runs through my head as if to burn my brain. The floor is painted red. I'm lying on a slimy floor. I push on my arms to get up, but my body is too heavy. I can't move. Not because I am bound, but because I lack the things people need to move. The pain in my chest exceeds the blood loss's power to drive me unconscious. I can't pass out. I've taken a fatal wound several times before. They were all so bad that they even numbed my senses. But this is different. It's a fatal wound, but the pain is too real. My vision spins. As soon as I black out from the pain, I'm awoken by the next pain. I can't feel my limbs. I can't even tell where I am. All I feel are pain, nausea, and the temptation that it would feel so good to just disappear.
殺してはいないだろうな、ランサー。それでは今まで残していた甲斐がない。
I can only hear voices. I have my eyes open, but I can't see anything.
命令は守るさ。たとえそれがいけすかねえものでもな。
Lance's voice shows no emotion, but I can barely hear it now.
よろしい。では支度をするぞ、ランサー。マスターの窮地はサーバントに伝わる。セーバーが到着するまでおよそ半時というところか。
Prepare for what?
ことみね。このガキそこまでは持たねえよ。死なせたくねえんなら血止めぐらいはしとけ。
不要だ。死ぬのならそれで構わん。
My mind starts to pass out. Pain finally overcomes my brain and allows me to faint. I stop that by digging into my wound. The pain starts again. My fainting mind returns to the burning world again. I want to die. I want to die right now if this pain is going to continue. I know that. I know that, but if I faint here, I also know that I'll die. I can't even remember what I'm doing now. I feel like I'm floating in this white burning pain. But I grit my teeth and hold on to my disappearing consciousness. I can't let it end here. I can't retire so easily. I still have a promise I haven't kept. If I believe she is more important than anyone, I can't just disappear here.